Hello, hello, hello. It is July 11th, 2024, and this is Open Conversations with International Coaches. Um, our topic today is vision and verifying vision in particular. It looks like I'm on my own for today. I hope my voice holds out. I've got a little bit of a cold, so we all seem to be falling down with summer issues. Um, but we'll, you know, push through and see what we can get done today. Um, my name is Steve, and I'm known by many online as the WordPress Wizard and the Coach's Coach. I'm a personal development guide and mentor. My work with clients is multi-niched, covering content creation, online presence, business success, and mindset. I've been a student of the law of attraction since my teen years. I know the power of visualization, manifestation, affirmations, and the subconscious mind. And that's a big part of what we're going to be talking about today. I work with coaches and other online professionals who want to start or expand their online presence. I help them get unstuck in their personal and business lives so they can move forward with their online journey of success. And I make tech understandable. I earn my entire income online helping others do the same. And you can find me at stephenbhenry.com. As I often say, the time to hire your guide is before you get lost in the woods. And that's really some good advice as we're talking today about vision. In the context of personal development, motivation, and mindset, which is what I deal with primarily, vision plays a crucial role in guiding individuals towards their goals and aspirations. It serves as a powerful tool, shaping one's future, fostering motivation, and cultivating a positive and resilient mindset. There's a detailed explanation of vision and its impact on these areas as we move forward today. So I want to share that with you and really, dig deeply into the whole idea of vision in personal development. And the there's a direction and a purpose for vision. And I want to be clear here. We're talking about the internal vision, the personal vision, not physical sight, not the sense that we use every day. We're talking about this different vision that we have as we can move forward. A clear vision of this type provides a sense of direction and purpose. One of my good friends, and another coach, speaks often about a sense of direction. And it's so important to who we are and what we do and the outcomes that are going to be there. It helps us understand what we want to achieve from life and why it's important to us. I often hear people talking about what they want. And most people really have trouble expressing what they really want. A coach of mine used to say a lot of people, he called them wannabes. They want to want it, but they don't really want it. They think they want it. And clarity is essential for personal growth and development. And vision helps us get that clarity. Now, one of the most common applications of vision is goal setting. And we talk a lot about goal setting. We talk about SMART goals, different processes. Vision is, in fact, the foundation for effective goal setting. You have to know what it is you want. You have to see clearly You have to envision uh, the things, the processes, the applications have to be specific. They have to be measurable, achievable, relevant, and time based. That's the SMART acronym and SMART goals. And they have to align with our long term aspirations. And to do that, to set those goals, we have to have a certain level of self awareness. These things all come into play together. It is a meshing of these many things, self awareness being the next one that I want to talk about briefly. And so, developing vision requires introspection, looking inward to ourselves and really analyzing, developing a pure sense of self awareness. And it encourages us to reflect on our values, what is meaningful to us, the strengths, the passions, the areas for improvement. We find those areas through vision, through internalizing our approach and our examination of where we want to go. And it's a critical component of personal development. The topic today, vision, is going to cover a broad area, and in future sessions, we're going to be able to deal with many of these areas individually. But the overview is so important. It really, it really is required to develop continuous improvement. A compelling vision inspires, it leads us to continuous learning and growth. It motivates us to acquire new skills, to seek new experiences, to constantly reach out and improve ourselves, to move closer to what it is that we desire for the future. Sounds, pretty kind of, a very wordy kind of thing, but it comes right down to what we do every day, the practical things that we do every day. Vision informs motivation. If you're lethargic, if you are procrastinating, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you are going through imposter syndrome, very common thing for professionals, especially coaches. You feel, can I really do this? Should I be doing this? Am I able to do this? Do I have enough knowledge, experience, learning to make this happen? And the motivation to get past those things comes from a vision, an intrinsic vision that's a powerful tool. We're driven by a vision that resonates deeply with our own values, our own passions. We're more likely to stay motivated when that's the case. We're going to be more committed to moving forward. And even in the face of challenges, I think that's one of the key aspects of this, is that vision, seeing what we really want out of life, what we really want to do, where we really want to go, helps us get through those challenges. I often use the phrase turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones. And that's really where vision comes in. There's a lot of things out there that appear to be challenges and stumbling blocks to our forward motion. And when we start to look at them and we have the vision of what we really want, we can take those and utilize them to our benefit. We turn them from stumbling blocks to stepping stones that help us along the way. So we really should not be we really should not be afraid of the challenges that confront us. Vision gives us persistence and resilience. Um, that's a strong tool that we can apply. The persistence to keep at something, the resilience to put up with the problems. When we encounter obstacles, our vision serves as a reminder of why we started in the first place. That's so important. We get caught up in what we're doing. We are burdened by the tech, the online presence confounds us. Other people seem to be doing things so easily, and it's a struggle for us. When we look at our vision and why we started, where we began, the purpose that brought us here in the first place, it's a powerful reminder. And it lets us understand, comprehend what we're working towards. It encourages us to keep going, to keep moving forward. And it's a matter of focus and prioritization. I was just working with an article that I was writing to publish in a community that I spend a bit of time in, and it was dealing with the steps of moving forward with particular concept that is of interest to all the people in that community. And I dealt with focus, bringing your mind onto what it is you're working with, and then a series of priorities that will guide you through what you're doing. And vision is a key factor in that. We stay focused on what truly matters when we have a vision of where we're going. It allows us to prioritize the individual tasks, the steps that get us from here to there. And if we try to do it in one big step, we often fall down and have trouble getting back up sometimes. But when we do it in little steps, a friend of mine and I joke back and forth about that old elephant joke. How do you eat an elephant? And it's one bite at a time. Doesn't matter how big it is, one bite at a time will get you there. And so we prioritize our tasks and our activities that are part of the process, part of the strategies we've put together excuse me, for our long-time goals. And that is a big step in terms of minimizing distractions, the temptation to engage in non-productive behavior, to lose the track of what we're doing, to be captivated by the next shiny object. All of those things that plague us day to day as we're working through our practice as a coach, that focus and prioritization that comes from a solid vision pays off. It builds energy and enthusiasm. I have a number of key points here that I'm just looking at, and energy and enthusiasm was one of them. And I know in my own life, my own practice as a guide and mentor, it's sometimes hard to get that energy up, to get the enthusiasm in there, to keep going with things. There's always something that comes up that steals your dream. And whether it's a relative's telling you, you can't do that, you've tried things like that before, you've never made it work. Or if it's a day like this where I was looking forward to a conversation with my two colleagues that join in this regularly, and finding out literally in the last few minutes that both of them would be away. I knew Cass was going to be away actually late yesterday, but then Shelley Ann was only able to let me know just shortly before we began. Um, and, that it kind of hits you and changes the whole thing. And suddenly you're scrambling because you've got an hour to fill in on your own. But when you have a vision, and the topic today is vision, but I had a vision of what the topic was going to be about and how I was going to progress with it, and the interaction that I was going to have as we discussed it. And so I take that vision and just extend it and apply it to what's happening now. And so the energy needs to be there, the enthusiasm needs to be there. It comes from a clear vision. It generates the energy and enthusiasm when you have a clear vision. It gives you a sense of excitement. And if not excitement, at least anticipation. Both of those are motivators that give you dopamine hits when you're excited about something, or when you're anticipating something. You can really feel an energy that comes with that. And so when you have that vision of the future, it fuels your drive to take action, to make progress. And when we set goals, we create strategies, we make plans, and we take action. And vision helps us do that. Now, vision is a part of mindset. I've been working with a joint venture partner on a very large book. It's a big undertaking, but we're really documenting mindset, and we had no idea, to be honest, when we first started, the extent of the pieces that go together to really create the holistic mindset. And vision is such a huge part of that. And, a very powerful part of mindset is growth mindset. And a well defined vision fosters a growth mindset. It allows individuals to believe in their own abilities, and that with applied intelligence, they can, develop the processes through effort and learning that will get them from here to where they want to go. And having the end in mind, when you begin a task and you have the end in mind, that vision of where you want to go opens the door for the process that will get you there. It's essential for overcoming obstacles and achieving long-term success. Um, it's sometimes difficult to describe how tied together all of that is. But if you think about your own experiences, when you've kept that vision, that end in mind as you're working towards it, when you can see, when you can visualize where you want to be, things kind of fall into place and you're moving along, and all of a sudden you sort of look and you say, oh, I've accomplished all of this. How did I do that in that little bit of time? This is really great. And you have that vision and you keep moving forward. And don't be afraid to let your vision move out further as you move forward. Keep it out there. And it's success is not a destination, it's a journey. And as you're going along achieving more and more, you keep having a vision of what's next and what's after that. You want to keep it focused. We mentioned the word focus earlier. So you want to stay focused. You don't want to get it so far out and so broadly defined that it's all fuzzy. You want to keep it sharply focused, but you want it out there so you've got a goal to move towards. You hear a lot about positive thinking. There's several very, very good books with the term positive thinking in the title. And having a good vision encourages positive thinking. It encourages optimism. When you know what it is you want, and it's worth taking the time to sit down and figure out what it is you want, and you have a vision of it, you visualize it. When you've got a compelling and desirable future in front of you, you're more likely to adopt a positive outlook. When you're thinking, if your vision is negative and I can't do this, you're going to find all the excuses, and that's all they are, is excuses. I think of the uh, concept of overnight success. Many people get jealous of those who seem to have overnight success, and they're busy struggling and trying to figure it out. And there's Joe over there, and he just made it happen. And Mary, it seems like she was only talking the other day about what she wanted. Boom, there she is, successful. But what we don't think about, we don't talk about, is the many years that lead up to the day before they have overnight success. Think about that. We see that success as they come out into the playing field, out onto the stage of life, and they're successful. And where were they, the day before? Wow, it's just overnight success. But in every case I know of, and I really challenge you to show me somebody who has not worked hard for many years to get to the point that they were in the day before they found overnight success. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And it is that positive outlook and that belief in their goals, that vision of the future that carried them forward through all the trials and tribulations to get to the day before they found overnight success. I'm not sure if we've talked in a session before about empowerment, but the term empowerment is so applicable to vision. When we have a vision, it empowers us to take control of our lives. That vision, clearly defined in focus, allows us to discover the things we need to do to get to where we want to go. And when we break it down to one bite at a time, one step at a time, and we take these little steps, we set these little individual goals to get to the bigger goal. And then as we're approaching the bigger goal, we can set an even bigger goal out there. We are, we're reinforcing our own beliefs. We become the architects of our own destiny. And it gives us the power. It empowers us. It gives us the power to shape our future through our own actions and decisions. Never be afraid to make a decision. Never be afraid to take an action. Now, don't just go out there and fumble around and do things and make decisions and take actions. Put some thought into it. Put some effort into it. Put some learning into it. Seek a guide or a coach or a mentor to work with you to keep you on the right path and to give you the things that you need, the information, the ideas, the tools to bring it all together. Don't try to do it on your own, but do it. Okay, you need to take your own um, process, your own vision that you're going to make happen. A good coach doesn't tell you what you're going to do. They don't tell you what you want to be. They listen to what you define as your vision, and then they will help you and guide you in that direction that you've chosen. And if the vision is a little bit fuzzy, they will help you clarify it. But the key here is they will help you or assist you. They won't do it for you. It's meaningless if somebody else does it for you. It might seem nice if somebody came along and did it all. But learning how to do it yourself, even if it's just to understand what you're going to hire done. It's okay to hire it done, but you want to understand what is being done so that you actually get what you're paying for, and what you're paying for is what you want. So that vision comes into play. Another key factor, I think, in vision is having adaptability, having the ability to adapt what you see as your vision to what you want in your life, and especially as that changes. What I want in my life right now is not what I wanted 20 years ago, or not what I wanted 40 years ago. I've made changes in my desires, in my future wishes, in my vision. And all the way along, I've had things that I've wanted and worked towards, and had these visions, but they change over time, and they're going to change again. And so, that doesn't mean you're always changing, your life around you like you're changing clothes. Um, you've got some things that are constant, some directions that you've set, and they're good. And in many cases, your big goals are set in stone. I use the phrase, cast your goals in concrete, but draw your plans in the sand so you can wipe them out and draw new plans if the circumstance change. So we want that adaptability so that when circumstances change, our vision, our long-term vision remains constant. But we can navigate the uncertainties and adjust the strategies, draw new plans so that we can stay aligned with those ultimate goals, those ultimate visions, because our circumstances have changed. We might be going along this direction towards our goals, and suddenly something happens in our life and we find ourselves over here. So to get to our goal, our direction is now this way. It's going to have different steps, different processes, different factors that we have to consider. We don't give up. We still have that vision. We just wipe out the plans in the sand and draw new ones. Or we modify the plans and extend them or reduce them or take out little pieces and add new little pieces in. We can do, all of that kind of thing. And there are a lot of practical steps that we can take to develop and harness our vision as we go forward. And I think um, that's really important, is to understand the changes, the uh, processes that we have available to us. And I think that the first thing, whether we're starting from scratch and just trying to find our vision, or whether we've had a vision for some time and we want to find out if it's still accurate and it's still where we want to go, in either case, what serves us best, in my opinion, is that we reflect on what we've been doing and where it's taking us. And is it leading to our vision? Now, if we've built our vision properly, and if we're massaging it properly, and if we're refining it over time properly, we can accept that our vision is correct. Now, in many cases, things will change dramatically, and we might have to really change our vision. But mostly, we'll have a vision that is what we want if we've played the process properly. And we're ready to go. And we've been working along towards our vision, but it doesn't seem to be happening. Well, I guess I can't reach that vision. I better have another one. I better make it smaller. I better do less. No. Look at what you've been doing. Reflect on those things. Are they the right things to get us to that vision, that goal? And we need to clarify what the steps are. Make sure that our plans, our strategies, our actions are actually going to get us there. And that, again, is where a good guide, mentor, or coach can come in that can help you clarify those things. A good coach has the experience to know many different circumstances. A coach shouldn't just be sharing their own vision, their own steps to get their vision. They shouldn't have a one plan fits all approach. A good coach, a good guide, a good mentor has a broad spectrum of tools, of resources, of experiences, so that whatever it is that you're doing, they understand what it takes to get there. And it is not always the same thing. I've worked with a couple of coaches that built their whole practice on memes, cute sayings that kind of, embodied a particular point. And whenever somebody was struggling, they came in with a number of memes that seemed to apply to the struggle. Well, there's nothing wrong with memes. There's nothing wrong with cute sayings that apply. Nothing wrong with pictures of cute kittens. But that's not the only answer. That's not the whole answer. And so, we worked with them to develop their toolkit so that as coaches, they could work with their clients on a broader spectrum and be able to, deal with one client's area and another client's area, even though they might be different. Now, I know a lot of coaches and people talking about business say niche down. Well, niching down isn't reducing your toolkit if you're a good coach. You might be a life coach. You might be a business coach. You might be a relationship coach. Those are niches. But a relationship coach or a business coach still has to deal with a spectrum of situations that people in a relationship can experience or that people running a business can experience. It's not going to be the same for every person in that niche. There isn't one reason why relationships stumble. There isn't one reason why businesses fail. There's many, many, many reasons, and a client in your niche may be struggling with one or more of those reasons, and another client may have totally different issues or may have some different and some the same. But the combination becomes different. The overall picture becomes different. So when you're dealing as a coach, a guide, or a mentor with an individual client, you need to be able to deal with that broader spectrum of possibilities. Not necessarily the whole spectrum with one client, but bits and pieces of that with that one client. Now, part of vision is the ability to visualize. Well, of course, Steve, that's obvious. Well, it isn't so obvious for a lot of people. Vision, you can kind of equate to a goal, but it's more than just the goal. It's seeing the goal in what my mother used to call your mind's eye. You visualize the goal, you visualize the outcome, you visualize yourself being part of that goal. So we want to regularly visualize our desired future, what it is we want. We want to see it. And that's where the term vision comes from. Even though it's not using our actual eye, looking at the world, it's using our mind's eye, our imagination, if you will. And we want to imagine ourselves achieving our goals and experiencing the results, the benefits of what that vision is going to bring. When we achieve the vision, it's going to bring certain benefits to us. And so this practice of visualization, it will strengthen your beliefs. You have to believe, you have to accept, you have to value what it is you want and what it is you're doing to get there. And so we need to strengthen that belief. We need to clarify, I've used that word before, we need to clarify our vision and thereby increase our motivation. We have to be motivated to move forward. And I think that's really, really important. And so, we're going to be setting goals. And if we break down our vision, a vision is a broad picture. And if we look at it and we see the components of that picture, then we need to set actionable goals for each of those components. So a vision is not only a goal, it is a collection of goals. It builds, it paints the whole picture. And I bill myself as a holistic guide and mentor because I look at the whole picture. And I therefore deal with a lot of different things. Now, experience accounts for some of that. Learning, studying, working accounts for some of that. Who I am accounts for some of that. And it all goes together to make me the coach and guide and mentor that I am. And all of those things will go together for you as a coach. Most of the people I'm speaking to here today are coaches, but you might be just a business person, a solopreneur, another type of online professional. You could be a lawyer. You could be a health practitioner building an online practice. That's perfectly possible. All of you, whatever it is you do, whatever it is you want to do, You need to have a vision, a well-defined, clarified, full spectrum vision, and then set the individual goals that will take you there. Some of them will be linear, step by step by step. And some of them will be big goals that you have to figure out how to get to. And that's the process. Now, you know, we often use metaphors talking about travel, going from place to place. Being a not a destination but a journey, having a sense of direction, like it's looking at the world and going this way. Um, and one of the metaphors that we often use is creating a roadmap of how to get to where we want to be. And in a metaphorical sense, that's exactly what we're doing. We're creating a roadmap. And if you look at an actual map of topography of roads and cities and hills and valleys, and you look at those roads, you can find that there's more than one way to get to where you want to be. And there might be a very direct route, but maybe it's got a lot of construction going on and detours and traffic pileups, and the direct route is no longer the best choice. So you find an alternate route that might be a little longer, but it's going to end up being faster today. And you have these different routes, and sometimes you have to go the opposite way from where you want to go to get to where you want to go. I used to work for a fellow that had this phrase, and he ran his business from a barn on a big horse farm. He raised racehorses and as a hobby, and he had a very big business, and his business and sales office was in this part of the barn that was converted into an office. And I was his vice president of technical services, and I had an office in that barn. And the barn sat on a piece of property that was south of a road. There was a road that went across from east to west, and the property was south of that road. It had a long driveway. It was a beautiful big ranch. It had fences out at the road, and this long driveway came down into where the barn was in a parking lot. And the nearest town was south. And it was a town named Bolton. And he used to talk about going north to get the car in the parking lot, which was north of the building, to drive north to the road, to drive west to the main road, to drive south to Bolton. So you had to go north and west before you could go south to where you wanted to go. So he used to talk about going north to get the car to go south to Bolton. He kind of smushed it into a short saying, but we knew what he meant. He knew you had to think. It's often called thinking outside the box. You had to think about a direction that was other than the direction you wanted to go, or you couldn't get there from here. So keep that in mind when you're setting goals and you're creating a roadmap. Your goal might be going back to school to get the education to be able to do what you want to do going forward. Now, it might not be going back to 4 years of college. It might be going back to, one semester of night school to get a particular, course that you need some expertise in. It might be going and taking an online course or a series of online courses to get the value. In order to get to where you want to go with your business, you may need to join a community. And there are different communities. I mentioned earlier about writing an article for a community that I'm in. And that community is quite powerful and useful and helpful to me. And I share a lot with the people there, and many people that haven't got information that I have appreciate what I share. And other people there share things that I haven't got, and I appreciate what they share. So it's a give and take. There's this reciprocity going on within that group. I'm working with a joint venture partner, actually Cass, the coach that's often with us, most often with us here in the panel, and she's also my daughter, and we're working together on a project called Your Everyday Bag. And I'm doing some promotion. She's doing some promotion about it. You might see it around. We have an offer that we have out right now. We're ahead of our launch. Our launch is going to be coming in a few weeks, a couple of weeks, and we're making an offer for founding members. We're giving them a special deal to become a founding member, and that deal's only going to last until our actual launch starts, and then it's gone. No more. Nobody else can become a founding member. So we're promoting that right now. And the Your Everyday Bag is a community. It's a website. It's a community, and it has courses and training and interaction and a variety of things. And there are many people in this other community that I'm in that might be interested in that. There are a lot of people in that community, probably the majority, who wouldn't be interested because this is a different community. It deals with different ideas and things and processes that many of those people don't need, get from somewhere else, or simply don't want. And that's okay. They're different communities. And there are hundreds, thousands of communities, tens of thousands at least, on the internet, communities that are out there. So your roadmap might be different than somebody else's, and it might require going to join a community that provides you with things you're going to need to be able to move towards your vision and your goal in the future. So that's important. Now, some of you may have heard about a thing called a vision board, and I want to talk briefly about that. A vision board is typically on a board, often a bulletin board, a pushpin type of board where you can stick things up and move them around. Sometimes it's a collage. I've seen them done on a piece of Bristol board, the kind of heavy paper that kids in school use to put projects on that they're going to create and then turn into the teacher. And the things get glued on. That's, pretty confident. The pin type, or stick it on with some kind of removable glue, is maybe a better choice because you may need to change things. You may need to move things around to fit certain things and to juxtapose things so that they go together and they work together in your mind by being seen together. But a visual board is basically a board with your goals and dreams and your vision represented on it in pictures. And you use images, quotes, symbols, memes, little sayings, things that resonate with you and your vision. Your vision board is a very personal thing. Other people might not understand it. You may try to share it with people and they don't get it. That's okay, because it's a very personal thing. But it should resonate with you, with your vision. And you want to place that vision board where it can be seen. Some people use magnets in their refrigerator door and create a vision board. And, it's got pictures of their kids. What's that got to do with your vision? Well, that might be the reason, the purpose. Some people make a mistake, and if they want to lose weight, they put a picture of themselves when they're heavy, or they find a magazine picture of somebody who's fat and put that on there to remind them that they want to lose weight. Well, if you understand the way the subconscious mind works, that's going to cause you to gain weight. So you want to put the end result. You want to visualize where you want to be, not where you are and what's not working for you. That's how the subconscious mind works. And the vision board takes those visions, those goals, those futuristic ideas, and makes them visible so that you can see them with your actual eyes and take them in on a regular process. You see it every day or many times a day, and it puts it into your mind, it puts it into your subconscious, and your subconscious works subconsciously. You're not thinking about it, it works on your behalf to make those things happen. And it works. Now, different processes, different ideas, different things work for different people. I've had people tell me the law of attraction doesn't work. Well, it does. I can tell you because I've experienced that it does work. I've had people say the subconscious mind doesn't exist. It doesn't, really work. There used to be scientists and doctors that said, nah, there's no place in the brain that's actually the subconscious mind. And now, in the last, 5 or 10 years, research is starting to show that, hey, wait a minute, there really is this thing going on in the brain, not necessarily a particular piece of the brain that can be, colored in a diagram, and this is where the subconscious lives, but rather it's a process that is an outcome of all the things that go on in the brain. And we're starting to understand more about these things. So time changes things, new things come along, old things get, adjusted and fine-tuned and clarified. And these things do work. And I work with things. The law of attraction and the subconscious mind are two things. Coincidences or synchronicity is another area of my interest. And I work with those with clients who want to understand them and want to apply them. And a vision board is a really interesting manifestation. It's a physical manifestation of those kinds of processes. And I know of several examples of this, but I'll share one here. We've got a little bit of time left. And I know of a person who created a vision board. He spent quite a bit of time on it, kept it in front of himself. He had it on the wall in his office. People would come into his office, what's that? He'd tell them, and they'd kind of chuckle. And he got a little bit, discouraged by some of the response that he got. Because his vision board, he'd put up the house that he wanted. He found a picture in a Home and Gardens magazine or something of this nice house that he put up, and the car he wanted to drive, and different things on it that were his vision of his future, what he was working towards. And he got a little bit discouraged from the comments, and he took his vision board down. Now, he didn't take the stuff off it and use the bulletin board for something else. He just kind of put it aside. And somewhere along the line, it got moved to a storage unit that he had. It was there. And years went by, and he was building a business and becoming more successful. And he got a job offer, across the country. And he decided to take it and packed up all his stuff and his family, and they moved across the country. And they were looking for a house, and his new job was going to pay him some pretty good money, and he was able to buy a better car, and he was looking for a house, and he found this house that he just fell in love with, and they bought it, made it their own. And as they were unpacking stuff, he came upon his vision board, and he pulled it out, and it blew him away. The car he'd just bought was the car on his vision board. A newer model. Some years had gone by, so it was a newer model, but it was the same car, the same kind of car that he couldn't afford back when he had created his vision board. And the house, the picture that he cut out of the magazine, was the house he just bought. Now, believe it or don't, Doesn't matter. Um, but for those of you who do have a hope, a desire, a belief, it is a true story. And I know the person personally, and I'm just absolutely myself blown away by the concept as well. So we want to keep that in mind. And the last thing that I want to touch on today that I think is important is that we want whatever it is we're doing, and it applies here to vision, but almost everything else. If we're writing blog posts, if we are, developing a marketing plan, whatever it is, we want to review and revise what we're doing. So you want to periodically review your vision. I mean, if your vision wasn't huge and you set it out there and you've achieved it, do you just stop? Do you not do any more? Do you just coast from there on? Yeah, you could. Or you can review your vision, revise it, and set it out there a little further and strive some more. So that's important. Review and revise. We want to periodically, some kind of regular process. Some people that I know, several former clients, have used the end of the year, the beginning of the new year. They've stopped doing New Year's resolutions because they've always turned out to be just a mess and a failure, and made in a hurry, made in a festive time, and failed within 30 to 60 days. So they use that time where other people are busy setting New Year's resolutions. They use it as a review time to review their vision, to review their goals and their plans, and to adjust their vision board. And so you look at your life circumstances, your priorities, your achievements, your successes, your things that you might call failures, which really turn out to just be stepping stones to move forward. And all these things change over time. And so it's important that you ensure that your vision remains relevant and inspiring, relevant to where you are and inspiring to move you forward. You make adjustments as they are needed, and you stay aligned with your own personal evolving aspirations. That's the absolute key to what you're going to be doing with your vision and many, many other things that you're going to do. So let's sum this up with a sort of a definition and an examination quickly of what we just covered. And a vision is a cornerstone. Think of a building that has the cornerstone, that has the date, when it was laid, and who the architect was, perhaps. Well, a vision is your personal cornerstone of your personal development, your motivation, and your mindset going forward. Remember, it's malleable, it's adjustable. You clarify it going forward. It provides that sense of direction. It fuels your motivation. It cultivates a positive and a resilient mindset. That's key to everything you do, a positive and resilient mindset. By developing, harnessing, internalizing a clear vision, you, all of us, can create a fulfilling and successful life, a profitable business, and it's all driven by our own purpose and passions. Keep those two words in mind. A purpose, that sense of direction, is also a sense of purpose, and the passion that motivates us to move forward. Whether it is through visualization, goal setting, creating a vision board, combination of all of those and others, the power of vision lies in your ability to inspire and guide individuals, yourself or your clients, towards a desired future. Think on that. Thank you for being with me today. We'll have a topic. Hopefully, we will publish it before next week. And my team members will be hopefully back healthy and with us next week as we dig into another session together. So until then, have a great time. And the time to hire your guide is before you get lost in the woods. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.